Right. So today we're doing magic words. Thank you. We can take one of these, I assume. Alright. Okay, so a brief history of barbarous names. Now, a barbarous name, kind of odd. So barbarous names obviously come from, we're referring to barbarians here in some respect. So where does barbarian come from? The word barbarian comes from the Greek barbaros, which is basically the antonym for a Greek-speaking citizen. So even if an Athenian and a Spartan are enemies, they're still Greeks. So say like a Gaul or an Etruscan, they are barbarians because they don't speak Greeks. So that's the phrase: whoever is not a Greek is a barbarian. Barbarians are called such because the word itself evokes the sound of a foreigner speaking their own tongue. It's like the sound of a sheep. Barbarian. So it's characterized. The same way we might have sort of insulting characterizations of other people's languages. This is what the Greeks, how they would characterize their language of their neighbors. Bar. So a barbarous name is a meaningless word used in magic rituals. Examples include hocus pocus, abracadabra, Abraxas or Abraxas, depending on the translation, and Bahomet. And all of these things, they've all got some various folk derivations and whatnot. So hocus pocus comes from hoc est corpus, which is this is my body. So it's this sort of reference to the transubstantiation of the host in Catholicism. Abracadabra is from the Hebrew abracadabra, which is I create as I speak, and so on. Now the question we're trying to answer is, why would someone bother to use a barbarous name? Why would someone use magic words? Because they don't seem to have a whole lot of, content. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. First is that barbarous names are a simple way to increase magical efficacy, and one is, the process of performing some kind of rite. This is for the reason of this is that in ancient and medieval magic, it operated on what was called the principle of sympathy. So whereas, contemporary scientific understandings of the way the world work are causal, right? So, if I kick my brother here in the leg, he's going to scream and try to punch me back. That's a causal relationship. However, if you're sort of a medieval mindset, you might not think causally, you might think sympathetically, which is why you end up with things like astrology. The fact that I may or may not have the belief that planets, millions of light years away, bear relevantly on whether or not I'm having a shit day. So, there's kind of this weirdness here. Now, when one invokes a barbarous name, there's some kind of sympathetic connection between this kind of concept that you're trying to grasp and the outcome you're trying to create, which we'll go into shortly. Now, in addition, there are barbarous names are often also comprised of chthonic or foreign deities. So chthonic deities mean deities from beneath the earth. So, like Hades would be a chthonic deity. Or they're often birth, life, rebirth deities. So Jesus would be one such deity, so the reincarnating deity. Persephone, Demeter, these kinds of characters. And they were considered by the Greeks and the Romans to be more powerful than their own gods, with regards to, invoking them in magical practices. So, to give you an example, this is quite cool. This, by the way, PGM 4, blah, 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 that refers to the Greek magical papyruses, which are this collection of magical texts. Now, we see here this is a love spell. This is not the kind of love that one would normally expect. Make NN, daughter of NN, be in love with me. Let her not have sexual intercourse with another man, neither from front nor from behind. Let her not have pleasure with another man, only with me, NN. Because I adore you by the fearful, by awesome nature, the nature at whose sound the earth will open, the nature at whose terrifying sound the diamond will panic, the name at whose sound rivers and rocks will explode. I adore you, demon dead, in the names of Abraxas, blah, 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 for I am Barbar, Adonai, who hides the stars who govern to this bright splendor of the heavens, etc. Now, this is kind of cool. So you see all these red words. Don't laugh, it's cool. Alright, so what's interesting is that when these guys are invoking the names of these foreign gods, the invocations deliver without the kind of context. So if you notice back there, can I go back? Woo. No, I know what I'm doing. No, sorry. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it myself. Anyway, so you notice that there was Adonai was in there, which is a name which means master in Hebrew. So it's a reference to the God of the Jews. So too is Sabaoth, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which means the Lord host. So, but the thing is though, this is a Greco-Roman spell. This has got nothing to do with the Jews at all. I mean, the Jews didn't hold truck with witchcraft all too much. And also there was also just like some of the other names there were just nonsense. I mean, there's garbage, right? So you end up with this meaningless stuff. Anyway, so the invocations look without context of foreign gods, and many of the magic words don't even refer to anything. It's just like a string of syllables. They're not demons or anything. It's just garbage. So one has to wonder whether or not this is just word salad or nonsense, like Jabberwocky, 'twas brillig in the slithy toes. So, it comes down to, do you like that? It's nice. Power of words. Now, traditionally, words are perceived as being inherently powerful because of their ability to influence the universe, right? So, and God said, let there be light. Now, so like, it's powerful as well because it means like refer to things in the universe. So when I have to say the word be, like a little be right here, that word has some kind of relationship with the thing that is be. Whereas nonsense words have no such relationship with anything. It's just nonsense. It's what makes them nonsense. Now, this kind of concept, what are you doing? Results in this kind of this Hebraic conceit that the name of the thing encapsulates the essence of the thing. So if you say, think of like Adam when he's in the Garden of Eden and he's naming all the animals. He's not naming them. When he's naming them, it's not just like a sort of random token. I mean, this somehow essentializes what the creature is. And similarly, if you think about sort of like later demonic rites, one of the most powerful things a magician can do would know a demon's name, a true name. So there's like a kind of like really fundamental indexical relationship with the essence of the thing and with the essence of the thing and the word. Now, so you got to buy into that at first. Now, although mundane words are mystical that they have this indexical relationship, presumably, they are lacking in efficacy and power. Saying be, like if I say the word be, it doesn't sort of make a be. I can't sort of manifest a be by saying the word be. And a magician wants to, this is kind of problematic for the magician. So, magic words have a high coefficient of weirdness, which I think is fantastic, because they're trying to overcome these limitations. They're trying to be words that don't merely refer to things in the world, but also trying to create things in the world. Magic words are an attempt to render a kind of generative act. It's an attempt to make something you do, for your words to actually impinge upon the world in a way, much like the way God created light in Genesis. So there's an interesting kind of structure emerging here. So nonsense words refer to nothing. So there is nothing to which brillig from the Jabberwocky refers to. There's nothing to which it refers to. There's nothing that is brillig. Words indicate something. I say the word be, and it refers to a be. Magic words kind of refer to everything. They refer to too much. They do not simply refer to creation itself, but there's an attempt to elicit an act of creation. The magic word becomes this kind of impossible attempt to impregnate a word with more than it can hold. It's like the vessel is overflowing with meaning. There's too much there, and that's why they become meaningless. So you get this kind of maximal information. So it becomes white noise. And the thing is, we haven't lost this. There are still magic words being used now. I mean, they're sort of culturally specific, but they happen. So, for instance, this is from faith healing ceremonies in the United States, and they happen here too. When people speak in tongues, that's what they're doing. They're speaking magic words. They're trying to. It's some kind of attempt to elicit a rite. They're not thinking about it that way, but semiologically that's what's occurring. I think it's really interesting looking at this stuff because it really casts a line to how the relationship between language and meaning works. But of course it's all bullshit, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's all. I'm Ryan. Anyone cares? That's my contact details. And yeah, okay. The questions also, if anyone